Another day, another hotel room, another part of India. This podcast is becoming a bit of a Bharatka hotel darshan. Hello, I'm Prem Panicker, and this is episode 5 of Sport and Pastime.
Hi, and this is Faisal Sharif, Sports and Pastime. We're going to have a lot of interesting points to discuss today, mostly India's composition for the Champions Trophy. And Prem, good trying to get a travel company to endorse us, yeah?
Yeah, man. I mean, travel companies, hotels, it's like podcast time ho gaya, ek hotel doondo, try and find a hotel with a Wi-Fi connection. It's crazy. Particularly when you're on the hinterland in India, connection hai to room. Anyway, chodo. It's how it
So, what's
is.
up today? What are we discussing?
We've got the WPL starting today, but I think we'll wait for our special guest and do it midway through the WPL. There are things to talk about in the WPL because this time I was looking at a lot of the young talent that will be on show outside of the senior players. But like I said, that can wait. We have the Champions Trophy coming up before we do our next podcast. So I'm guessing that needs to be the thing. Do you want to look at the groups first and see who has the best chances of getting into the last four? Group A has got India, Bangladesh, New Zealand, and Pakistan too.
So, I see that Group A as India, Bangladesh, New Zealand, and Pakistan, like you said. And Group B has Afghanistan, England, Australia, and South Africa. Really feeling sad seeing
Uh,
that there's no Sri Lanka and no West Indies in this Champions Trophy.
Actually, that brings up an interesting thing. We just finished that three ODI series against England, and I was looking, not see, England lost. Okay, that's fine. They've come to India playing in unfamiliar conditions, new coach. They're still trying to find their feet under the new regime. All of that granted. What bothered me was the attitude. When you have somebody like Ben Duckett saying, we don't mind if we lose 3-0 to India before the third game, it kind of tells you, see, World Test Championship, Ben Stokes says he's not bothered about the World Test Championship. Champions Trophy, you have the opening batsman saying, we don't care if we lose. So, what I'm trying to figure out is why the hell are you playing? And why can't you give up your place to either Sri Lanka or West Indies? Both of them, by the way, past winners of the Champions Trophy.
Absolutely. I think it makes sense. In fact, Prem, you saw the way they beat Australia in the first one day. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, 214. They defended 214. That's like one of the lowest
correct.
totals that Australia has failed to chase in its ODI history
Yeah.
against Sri Lanka. And that's unbelievable.
And Australia is playing with a fairly full strength, at least as far as the batting is concerned, fairly full strength squad. But if you want to look at Australia in Group B, before we get into India and Group A and all of that, Australia, the players who are not playing for Australia make for a better side than the players who are playing, I think. You've got Pat Cummins out, Mitch Stark is out, Josh Hazelwood is out, Boland
Is
wasn't
out.
picked in any case. Yeah, Stoinis is out. Mitch Marsh is out. So your first choice fast bowlers are out. Your first choice middle order all-rounders are out. Only Glenn Maxwell is
Yeah.
left in that group.
Yeah. In
So
fact, I think they're hoping
very,
for Sean
very,
Abbott to play the role of Sean Abbott,
huh,
and Travis Head will have to do a lot of bowling, I think.
yeah. But also, uh, so it's interesting. Are they going to pick Sean Abbott or are they going to pick Spencer Johnson, who's seen as the left-arm fast bowling alternative to Mitchell Stark going forward? I mean, he's supposed to step into Stark's shoes, and he's the only pure fast bowler in the ranks. All the rest are medium fast, oscillating between medium fast and fast medium. So, be interesting
And
to see
imagine and
what kind of
imagine where he's imagine the baptism where it's happening on completely
yeah.
flat wickets in Dubai and
But
Pakistan.
Faisal, one of the questions I had for you is, you know, the Pakistan pitches better than I do. I mean, okay. Some of them are being relayed, some of for this tournament, some of them will be new pitches. All of that granted, what I'm trying to figure out is what is Pakistan seeing that they have packed their side with fast bowlers? Two of the spinners who came to the fore recently, Noman Ali is not there, Sadiq is not there, but they've got the attackers. They have Shaheen Shah Afridi, they have Nazim Shah, they have Mohammad Hasnain, uh, and the only spinning option is Abrar Ahmed bowling his leg breaks. So I'm curious what Pakistan is seeing that we are not.
I think they're pretty clear that their strength always has been fast bowling, contrary to what Ramesh Bhai was saying that they are trying to see if spin works for them on these wickets. But given that they picked fast bowlers, should tell us what the trend of the wickets will be in Pakistan, at least the matches that Pakistan is going to play. They're pretty serious that they have to win the game against Bangladesh. That's
Hmm.
there's no room for any complacency there. The India Pakistan
Yeah,
is going to be the big one. You can't bank on that. And New Zealand really worried them in the one match that they played so far in the triangular. So I think they're going to
yeah,
have good wickets, and they've decided that their strength is fast bowling. And I think if Haris Rauf also comes good, uh, I think they probably go back to fast bowling, and that's really how they won the 2017 Champions Trophy the last time, and the only won the Champions Trophy. It was on the back of some really, really good fast bowling. Hassan Ali and Amir were just unbelievable in
yeah,
their spells.
yeah. I mean, the fast bowling component looks good, but it's also, I mean, for me, it's worth noting that this most fast bowlers are playing in that most recent match that they played against South Africa, where they gave away 352. So it's a bit of a curate's egg, right? Part of it is good, part of it is bad. The good part is Pakistan comfortably chased 352. The bad
Yeah.
part is they gave 352. So I don't know what to make of that match. And today they're playing New Zealand, I think, if I remember the fixtures right.
Yeah, that's the final today. But Prem, any wicket that can
Yeah,
produce 700 runs, whether then you have a fast bowler, then you need a great like a Stark, or you need a Bumrah to come in and do that magic, or Mohammad Ahmed.
yeah,
I wish he was fit
yeah,
or been chosen by them. Then you need someone of that caliber to play. But otherwise, if a wicket is giving you 700 runs in one day, then you can imagine what the wicket will be. I mean, these guys managed a test partnership. 260 runs they
yeah.
managed to put between them for the fourth wicket. It's
Seriously.
unbelievable, unheard of, no, in one day cricket in recent times. So,
And South Africa wasn't a bad attack, so there is that also. It's not exactly like, I mean, they went. Uh, I mean, who else would you have picked in the South Africa? You can't think of anyone that was missing. But anyway, moving to Group A, like you said, India, Bangladesh, New Zealand, Pakistan. Uh, India's team, the big blow is, of course, Jasprit Bumrah not being able to make it. But you know what? I like the fact that Arshdeep Singh is in this side. He's a quality left arm quick,
yeah.
swings the ball a lot, and he also uses his intelligence. He'll suddenly stop the ball from swinging. He'll hit the deck. He'll bowl the scramble seam. He'll bowl, through the channel. He has pretty much all the varieties you need. It's only that he's been living in Jasprit's shadow, and so he doesn't really get what is due to him. But I rate him probably as the second best quick that we have right now.
And that explains why they picked him ahead of Siraj. That's a big call. It
Yeah,
was a very, very big call to pick
yeah,
him. And I think the thing that makes Arshdeep so good is that he's fearless. You've seen that if he gets smashed, his head
yeah,
doesn't drop. Issues like he just comes back. He's ready to come back. I think that's what really makes him so special. He never backs down. He's there. He's at you.
yeah,
And he kings. If he can keep his
yeah,
fitness and he doesn't, overbowl, I think you've got a special talent. I was in fact hoping that they'd fly him down to Australia when Bumrah wasn't, absolutely ready. They
Yeah,
had him as a backup. He could have played that test match. Would have been amazing to see that.
yeah.
So I think they're going to have to choose between. If Shami looks undercooked still, then they'll have to go in with Harshit Rana, because I think Arshdeep will definitely play, and then they might have to pick one between Shami and Rana, but because they also have Hardik Pandya. So, like, the balance seems to be perfect with three seam bowlers, three pacers, and three spinners. They'll have to pick between Akshar and Jadeja. I hope they don't pick both of them in the same game. That brings too much of the sameness. I think Varun, Kuldeep, and one of the left arm spinners between Akshar or Jadeja would be amazing. And if Shami comes good, then it's amazing. Pack. So that gives you Shami, Pandya, Arshdeep, and then gives you three spinners. Uh, that's a very, very good combination to have, even if one of your bowlers is not having. But my worry is that what happens if you know will Rahul make it to the 11 yet Rishabh is there? Would you pick a Rishabh over a KL Rahul, or would you be worried and you want to keep your middle order and lower middle order and you would still pack in a KL Rahul? That's the question, because it's a big call. I mean, for me, I'd any day pick a player who's a match winner. So for me, between KL Rahul and Pant, it's a no-brainer. I pick Rishabh Pant anytime, because he's one of those individual brilliances that can win a game on its on his own. He doesn't need anybody else. But with KL Rahul coming so late, doesn't really get the time to build his innings. Come so late at 6 or 7, it becomes a bit of a challenge. And there's no room for anyone else, because if you have Sharma and Gill at the top and Kohli and Iyer to follow, uh, there's really no room for anyone else. Imagine, I mean, Yashasvi is not there. He's in substitutes.
Uh, so Faisal, what you said about the team balance, I agree. Uh, it looks like a well-balanced team. It covers all the bases, and the point you made about Hardik Pandya's presence in the side, giving you three seam bowlers and allowing you to play three spinners. Uh, all of that is well taken. I'm looking at the batting lineup though, the batting order though, and see if you have Rohit and Gill opening, that is 1 and 2. You have Kohli at 3. You have Shreyas at 4. Gautam Gambhir seems to be a fan of bringing Aksar in at 5. He keeps talking about wanting a left-right combination. What that does is it pushes KL Rahul to number 6. Uh, and KL Rahul, I don't know, he's not a number 6 batsman. He needs to be up the order, but there is no way of fitting him up the order, particularly if Aksar is going to be promoted to 5. And then you have Hardik at 7 and Jadeja at 8. All of them are capable batsmen. So if you want to look on the cup half full side, what you can say is that the top order Indian batsmen can actually go for broke because they know that they have batting all the way down to 8. They have highly qualified batsmen all the way up to Jadeja, for instance. But on the minus side, it looks to me like guys like KL, Hardik, and Jadeja will not get enough opportunities to bat. And particularly somebody like Hardik, for instance, who bats at 150, 160, even goes as high as, close to 180 strike rate. If he's going to come in at 7, he's going to
Correct.
end up with, if the top order functions, he's going to end up with 2 or 3 overs max. And the other question
True.
is
Yeah.
the KL Rahul thing. Yeah, the KL Rahul thing that you mentioned. If that batsman is going to come in at 6, wouldn't you rather play Rishabh Pant? Anyway, you like left-handers.
Absolutely.
So if you have Rishabh Pant in the side, what happens is you can use both Aksar and Rishabh Pant as floaters. Uh, you know, play around with the order when you want a left-right combination, send one of those two in, and both of them are hard hitting. They are match turning batsmen. high impact players. So I don't know. I mean, I think that's the one question mark I have about the side. Is KL Rahul the right person in this particular mix? And this is nothing, not to take away from KL Rahul, but I think if he is at six, he's wasted.
Yeah, I would take a match winner any day over uh, a, a proper batsman. And Rishabh Pant brings that to the team. He brings that. I mean, if I have lost order and I still have Hardik and I have Rishabh at the crease because they know anything's possible.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
build an innings. They can go on
yeah.
for 20 overs, 25 overs, manage it and win a game off. For me, it would be. But do you think Gautam Gambhir and Rohit will actually go in with six bowlers, with Hardik, of course, being the all rounder, or will they go with seven batsmen? Because I think that is done and dusted. I think it's time to go with five specialist batsmen, your keeper included, and then take six, one all rounder and five bowlers.
I think they're looking at players like, for instance, Jadeja, Hardik, and Aksar as when the team is batting, they are batsmen. When the team is bowling, they are bowlers, which gives them that luxury of six bowlers, with the option of, say, somebody like Washington Sundar in case they want a bit of off spin. But yeah, no, I think the bowling, they have all the bases covered. The problem is, I'm very curious about the wickets they're going to get. If it is not a pace-friendly wicket and you have three fast bowlers, Hardik Pandya tends to go for runs if it is a, sort of flattish kind of wicket because he's just hit the deck. Harshit Rana is also a hit the deck bowler. Ardeep, I'm not too worried about because, like I said, yeah, he has the varied skill sets to kind of adapt to whatever pitch he's bowling on. But
Correct.
if it is a flat batting track that we get, then Hardik and Rana are vulnerable. And then you have to rely on Aksar. I don't know whether Kuldeep will play or Varun will play, but one of the two. And
Jadeja and Akshar Patel are both left arm spinners. Don't you think throwing in a Varun and a Kuldeep and one of them, an Akshar or a Jadeja, would bring so much more variety? Imagine 20 overs of Varun and Kuldeep if they're having a good day, which usually they do. I mean, it'll be different on these wickets because they tend to be a bit slow. Varun is a master of playing with pace. Just slowing the ball and the variety he brings.
yeah, so I mean, if I was picking the side, yes, I would go with your suggestion that Jadeja is probably, unless and until as the tournament goes on, you feel the need for him. Early on, I would pick both Varun and Kuldeep because both of them, like you said, Kuldeep doesn't really, he's not an economical bowler, but he's a wicket-taking bowler. And if you start taking wickets through the middle phase, it prevents the opposition team from putting up the kind of big scores that will probably be targeted through this competition. Varun does both. He takes wickets, but he's also a highly restrictive bowler. So in that sense, the only thing that Jadeja brings to the table extra, okay, there is the fielding, but without looking at the fielding, the only thing he brings extra to the table is batting. But he's at number 8 in this lineup.
Yeah.
He's not going to get to
But
bat
Akshar
too
brings
much.
that to you. But Akshar brings the batting, Prem.
Yeah,
I mean, and
exactly.
he's in good form.
So if you have,
He's in good form.
yeah, yeah, he's in good form. I think the management is very sort of taken by his current form. They keep promoting him even ahead of established batsmen. Uh, yeah, so you would want your lineup would probably the batting lineup would probably end it with Hardik at 7, uh, with say Rishabh Pant at 6, Hardik at 7, and then you have Harshit Rana coming in at 8. Harshit swings the bat and connects more often than not. So you have Harshit coming in
Yeah,
at 8. Then you have Arshdeep at 9. And then you have the two spinners coming back to back, Varun Chakravarti and Kuldeep. And if you
correct.
want, in some games, if you think that the off spinner is the better option, then you have Washington Sundar coming in. And Washington will
Always, yeah.
probably
That's
move to
true.
the number 8, yeah, slot. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what team they end up picking. I suspect they'll, for all that they talk about, you know, wanting to experiment and wanting to do this, that, and the other, they tend to be somewhat conventional when it comes to thinking. So conventional thinking will say Jadeja as first pick. I hope not, but yeah, let's see.
Yeah,
It's a good team.
it'd be interesting.
The two key games, yeah, the two games, like you said, Pakistan versus Pakistan versus New Zealand. And New Zealand is the team that actually should worry India because those guys recently they've
Yeah.
started really upping their game. They are constantly in the finals or winning bilaterals and multilaterals. A very
And they
strong,
have the wood on
well-rounded team.
India in all ICC tournaments. They always have the
Yeah,
wood on India
correct.
in ICC tournaments. They somehow beat India, you know. Even when we won the
Yeah.
T20 World Cup 2007, the only game lost was New Zealand. I mean, anything that happens, I mean, New Zealand has always been there. You remember the famous semi-final, of course, the 2019
Hmm.
semi-final again, New Zealand. So they have something about them. And the opposite is true for Pakistan because Pakistan somehow when they play New Zealand in an ICC tournament,
Yeah.
they beat them back. They beat them very easily. You know, it's really
Yeah.
surprising, and it's a funny thing. I can never put my finger on what it is about New Zealand, Pakistan. Pakistan somehow get them.
And that is exactly why I was thinking that that game is the one that throws Group A wide open. Because if Pakistan beats New Zealand and if India happens to lose to New Zealand, then you're looking at three-way ties, you're looking at all kinds of permutations and if I
Poor
had
Bangladesh.
my choice, yeah, seriously. But Bangladesh is another story that we talked about during the episode where we focused on, spot fixing, match fixing, and all that. I don't know what that is doing to the team. But anyway, I was thinking that if I had the choice of being able to pick which group I wanted to be in, I'd probably pick Group B, yeah, despite the presence of Afghanistan, because Australia, like you said, there's a highly experimental bowling lineup. England
Yeah,
doesn't want to play, they're just going through the motions. So you have basically South Africa almost certain to qualify. And I'd
yeah.
love to be proved wrong on this because then it means that various teams will step up, that Australia will step up its game, England will step up its game. I hope it happens. I don't see it happen though. Particularly with the bowling, England is pretty much Adil Rashid and nothing else. Mark Wood and
That's true.
Jofra Archer come and bowl very fast and they disappear equally fast.
Prem, I have a counter
So,
argument to that. Don't you think that England's now been here for almost a month? Do you think somehow they'll pick up their game and they probably they're working towards the Champions Trophy and they've been experimenting with their sides? I mean, I'm a bit biased towards England. I really with Butler,
no,
but they could actually surprise
yeah,
if
I
Brooke hits
actually,
form.
hmm, they lost Bethel, but yeah, if Brook hits form, then it can be interesting. You know, for all that I've been bashing England, I actually want them well because then it makes for far more exciting games. If England is going to just sleepwalk through the tournament, it's no fun. So I'm hoping both England and Australia, by the way, Australia because of its, new look bowling lineup and having to settle into that sort of thing. I mean, Smith is the captain. He's looking at this bowling lineup. If he had Cummins, Stark, and Hazelwood, he would go into games very confident that they could pull things off. But now you have a almost new look bowling lineup, and you're beginning to worry a little bit about who do I give the ball to at crucial stages when, say, for instance, two batsmen are really set and going hard. Which of these untested or relatively untested guys are you going to try? Is going to be a problem for them. But yeah, it
Yeah.
should be interesting. I want to see the first game that Australia plays in this Champions Trophy and the first game that England plays in this Champions Trophy. So I'll probably lock myself into a hotel room, forget about what I'm supposed to be actually doing, and yeah,
Do you
watch
think
the
we could
game
see
for
the
it.
return of the baseball? Do you think baseball will return? Because we've been missing that. That was like the That was trending like crazy, and suddenly there's no mention of it anywhere.
Faisal, I'm curious about something. What is baseball actually? You're saying you're targeting scores of 350, right? If you break it down, 350 is actually a runner ball plus 50. So there
Correct.
was this time, I think it was before Rediff when I was in midday, the World Cup, they had this a sort of World Cup of the legends teams. So you had South Africa with Barry Richards and Graham Pollock, Peter Pollock came, Garth LaRue came. So huge names. Some of the classic West Indians were there. And the nice thing was it was all at the CCI, and these guys were happy to chat. So you just walked in, somebody or the other
Hmm.
would be sitting there having a beer, you sat with them and talked. So I remember talking to Barry Richards once about how do you chase a big score because he was playing county. And Barry said, look, I go with the assumption that as an international batsman, I'm capable of scoring at least one run off every ball. So run a ball is given. And this is, I'm talking about pre 95, somewhere around 93 or so is when Barry told me this. He's saying a run a
Oh,
ball should be doable. So if you're chasing, for instance, 350, I don't remember what total he talked about at that time, but if you apply that, he's saying that if you're chasing 350, you're going into bat saying run a ball plus 50. Now, suppose in an over you get 10 runs, the next over, at the start of the next over, you're saying run a ball plus 46.
hmm.
And that way you're keeping track of what you have to do. So if you have a maiden over, then it becomes run a ball plus 52.
Hmm.
And that way you're keeping track of what you have to do. So if you have a maiden over, then it becomes run a ball plus 52. That six runs
Correct.
get added. So so I was thinking of this whole baseball thing, scores of 350 and all that. I'm saying you're basically talking about scoring run a ball. If you score run a ball throughout the innings, you're going to get loose balls. The bowling will
Correct.
come under pressure. You will get loose balls. You will get fours and sixes. So what's the big deal here? I mean, until and unless you're starting to talk about 400 scores, I don't know what baseball is supposed to be, honestly.
I have
Pakistan
a
played
very
baseball,
interesting
no, against
story
South
on this,
Africa the other
Prem.
day. Haan, bolo.
Yeah. Yeah. So you remember the 2003 final when Australia piled up 359 in the final, and India thought all was lost. Anil Kumble came up with a great strategy and a great thing in the dressing room. He said, "Look, we need 360 to win this game or 359." He said, "Here's what we
Hmm.
need to do. We need a boundary every over, so that's 200 taken care of in 50 overs, and then you have 250 balls. We need to get 160 runs in them. That's less than run a
Yeah,
ball." Like he broke it down.
exactly.
Seems so simple, no, in theory. And actually, Sehwag was actually
Exactly.
going after it. If it hadn't rained, he was actually doing
Yeah.
that. He was actually going after the bowling. So that's a
No,
very
that is
interesting
this.
thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, if you look at a boundary every over and a six, say, every 5 overs, even,
Yeah.
see where you are. So I'm
Oof.
still waiting for,
Yeah.
okay, if baseball is supposed to be is supposed to be about optimizing every ball that you're facing in white ball cricket, then we can start talking about baseball when teams regularly start going 380, 400 and above. But if you're scoring 350 and all that, the best you can say about this is you're optimizing to the extent possible.
Right. Prem, on that, I
You're
have a
scoring
silly
just
thought,
50.
and I want to bounce it off you. I want to
Hmm,
bounce it off you.
okay.
When will the 500 be breached? Will it be breached?
If you went by the Kumble argument, 500 can be breached, no? I mean,
Yeah. Ian Healy
it
has this
can be. The
amazing
thing
thing.
is,
Remember when Sanjay Manjrekar once told me, Ian Healy told him that there should be a team, and this was before T20 actually started. He said, imagine having 11 batsmen and all of them are told that all of you have to play the long handle. Everyone has to go and just smash the ball over 50 overs. He said, what do you think we could get to? you know, 500 would be so easy. But it's been
Yeah,
almost, I think, what, close to 20 years, but it's not happened yet. We haven't had a 500 yet. We've reached four. What is it? The highest 450 plus. We've not touched
yeah.
500 yet.
And part of the reason I think is if you look at scoreboards and run rates, we are still okay. We are better than we used to be. There was a point in time, if you remember, we both were covering cricket at that time, and 250 plus was seen as a good score. Uh, to 300 and all that. Oh yeah, winning total. We've gone past that. We've started internalizing the fact, and I'm talking of all teams. They've started internalizing the fact that you have to keep scoring through the innings. You can't play the first 10 overs with trying to maximize and then suddenly slow down in the next 30 overs and then pick up again in the last 10 overs. That thinking has been buried, but
Yeah.
we still tend to think in terms of at least one person should be anchoring and one person should bat through and all those things haven't gone away. They haven't gotten, the teams haven't generally gotten to the point of saying we should be scoring from both ends at the same pace. See, even look at the last ODI that we played, no, against England. You had Rohit Sharma going at about 130. Shubman Gill, as usual, started a bit slow and then picked up. But then what happened? You had
Correct.
Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli was the only player in that lineup who scored below 100% strike rate. And remember, he faced
He had
55
dropped anchor,
balls.
Prem. He
Yeah.
had dropped anchor. You have to understand.
And for me, that's the problem. You can't be dropping anchor in ODIs, not anymore. See, a lot of thinking has changed. No, if you look at the original ODI sides, the West Indies, India, and all of that, it wasn't too much of a all-rounder centric side. You had specialist bowlers. At least four of them would be specialist bowlers. Uh, so, so then it made sense to say, look, if we have a batting collapse, then we'll end up with a below par score. But now, if you're going to pack your batting all the way to 8 and 9 and all of that, like I said, if you have a Hardik Pandya coming in at 7, then you just go at both ends. Yeah, there is no anchor and all that now. And I think until teams get to that point where they say the middle overs are not about taking singles, rotating strike, it is about thinking 6-4-3-2-1 as opposed to 1-2-3-4-6. We won't breach 500. But the day that happens, it'll be great fun to watch. And I wouldn't want to be a
And Prem, I
bowler on
think
that
it
day.
should happen in this. It should happen in this Champions Trophy because I read an article on Cricinfo, amazing article. It said that none of the great fast bowlers are playing in this World Cup. Did you notice that? That's quite a shocker. So
Yeah,
let's look at that list quickly.
the only fast bowlers you can think of who would rank in the top this thing are the Pakistani trio, Jafar, Markwood, and Kagiso Rabada.
Yeah, that's hardly anything. And look at the list of those missing. So all the Australian fast bowlers are not there. No Cummins, no Stark, no Hazelwood. There's no Bumrah, of course. There's no. I think Haris Rauf is a question mark. And Rich Nokia from South Africa is not playing.
Yeah,
Then they got Quidzi. He's also down with a groin injury. I don't know if he's going to be able to play. There's no Mitchell Marsh. So no fast bowlers. I think great opportunity, great moment for somebody to think maybe baseball or India. I think other than India and England, maybe South Africa possibly with players like Miller, Klassen could
yeah.
breach the 500. No, what do you think? Do you think any other team is capable of the 500?
No, I would go with the picks that you have right now. I would think India, if it decides to, and if all the conditions favor it, they would go into the high 400s and probably get close to 500 if it's their day. I mean, I keep looking at this batting lineup, and I'm saying every single batsman is capable of going over 100. And it's not just
Absolutely.
over 100, right? Most of them bat in the 140, 150 and above range. If they all play to potential on that one day, yeah, there'll be hell to pay for the opposing side. Other than that, I'm not convinced about whether England right now in a position to even try for. I mean, if England consistently scores 350s in this tournament, I'll be happy. Uh, Other than that, yeah, South Africa possibly. I don't see any other side being able to do that. These two are the ones
Yeah.
that if they're going to break records, they have to break records. And I'd love to be proven wrong on every single one of these because it basically means that it makes for exciting contests. But Faisal, somewhere uh, before we started recording this, we were talking about that Arjuna Ranatunga. We are talking about the Indian team and how good it is. And here is the, very famous personality saying this Indian team sucks, literally. What did you make of that?
Sensational. I mean, after I and joked about it a bit, I mean, uh, for a player of a team that even failed to qualify for the Champions Trophy, to run down, an Indian team, which, for all that we criticize it, I mean, we have to give it that there are some greats in it, and this is a fantastic Indian team. For him to say that is shocking. I mean, it's just downright shocking. I think he's probably not watching the game closely, or he's not sat through an Indian innings when they've touched 300 or gone to 350. Or I'd just like to know what he's smoking.
Yeah, and I'd like to know what he thinks the chances are of uh, Sri Lanka's opening batsman against, say, somebody like Jasprit Bumrah. The matchup that I would love if Ranatunga's dream of playing the '96 team against this Indian team comes true. There are some matchups that I'd really like to see. Uh, and the key one would be Jasprit Bumrah bowling to Arvinder De Silva.
De Silva. Oh, I knew you were going to say that. That would something.
Yeah,
That is the only one which I would really want to watch, because De Silva
yeah,
he's something else. Yeah, and in that World Cup, he was on top of his game. The real Mad Max
yeah,
came through.
seriously. But Ranatunga has this habit of saying things, and he sometimes pulls them off. The funniest story I remember is when the captains landed in Chennai, the Sri Lankan team landed in Chennai for that World Cup. They were just the '96 World Cup,
Hmm.
and they were just coming off the Australia tour with this Muralidharan chucking and this, that, and the other. So there was this press conference, and one of the first questions asked was, uh, "Do you think Australia are the favorites for the '96 World Cup?" Ranatunga's response deadpan. He says, "Why are they playing with Australian umpires?" That's all he said.
That's a good one.
And about a couple of questions later, I remember the other one that was asked was, "Do you think Shane Warne is a threat?" And Ranatunga just shrugs and says, "We have six batsmen who are capable of taking Shane Warne apart. We don't have a problem."
But
And the
funny,
thing is, it is
Ranatunga says
almost
that.
as, why do
Was
you say funny?
once Nehra when he was playing, because I'd interviewed Nehra once when he'd come back from Sri Lanka, and he told me, यार जयसूर्या को तो आउट ही नहीं देते हैं श्रीलंका अंपायर, एलबीडब्ल्यू होता ही नहीं है, कभी देखो
Ah,
उसको, कभी एलबीडब्ल्यू देता ही नहीं है कोई अंपायर उसको. So we don't deal now. He said halfway through we stopped appealing LBW every time the ball hit. Jayasuriya's pad, he said, ये तो मिलने नहीं वाला है, छोड़ दो इसको. We don't need it. For
I
him to
had
say
to
that
do
about Aussie umpires.
Yeah. But I had to do ball by ball commentary for that match in Sri Lanka where Sri Lanka piled up 900 plus. For 3 days, all I was doing was Kumpai balls outside the off stump, driven through the covers, 4 runs. कर करके थक गया मैं. I think that is probably when I started deciding that ball by ball commentary is not for me. But anyway, Ranatunga, yeah, Ranatunga does say these things. I'm not quite convinced that that 96. You know what? I like that 96 team because they probably institute. If you look at the India 83 team, we depended on all rounders. We had Mohinder Ramanath bowling a little bit. We had Roger Binney bowling a little bit. So
Correct.
all rounders had come into the equation or the thinking even then. But the 96 team of Sri Lanka actually institutionalized this whole thing of using all rounders. I mean, Arjuna would bowl, Marwan Atapattu would bowl. Uh, you had Asanka Gurusinha, who was bowling right arm medium pace, Chobio.
Yeah, yeah, and
Uh,
he
I,
would get breakthrough. He was not a bad bowler.
yeah, yeah. And then Hashan
He was
Tilakratne
there. He was there,
used to
Mudassar
bowl right
Nazar.
arm off.
He was there, Mudassar Nazar.
Correct.
He was there, Mudassar Nazar. Yeah, he
Yeah.
would get a wicket.
So, so among the batsmen, Hashan Tilakratne again used to bowl right arm off breaks. Arvinda De Silva was bowling off. Kumar Dharmsena,
Yeah,
Sanat
he was good.
Jayasuriya, and then you had the yeah. So I mean, you had a. I think that '96 World Cup win was on the back of the all-rounders and the two openers going nuts to the top,
True,
and they could do
true.
that because who's coming in after that? Ashanka Gurusinha will come and he'll play the anchor role, and at number four, Arvinda will walk in and he'll do
The
whatever the
artist. Yeah.
yeah.
But Prem, talking
It would
about
be
all
amazing.
rounders, like we have.
Yeah, sorry,
Why
no.
doesn't Rohit Sharma and why doesn't Virat Kohli bowl? Virat is an amazing, off the wrong foot he bowls, and he's a decent bowler.
Yeah,
Rohit Sharma is not bad. He's got a hat trick or two in IPL. I don't know why they never chip in. I'm like surprised, even when they're the captain. I mean, I remember Azhar when he used to get frustrated with his bowlers not bowling the line he wanted, he'd come on and
yeah.
3 overs to show them how he'd want them to bowl. I wonder why Kohli and Rohit Sharma have completely stopped bowling, not even a single over or two to break the monotony or to break a partnership.
I don't know. Rohit, I remember reading sometime back that he had some kind of back issue that would flare up when he tried to bowl, which made me think that Rohit
Okay.
was a fast bowler. Because I mean, bowling at the way Rohit bowls, how much strain are you putting on the back? Anyway, forget it. He says he has some kind of health issue. I don't know why Kohli won't bowl because fitness is definitely not his issue. And that's the thing, right? Previous teams, your batsmen used to bowl. Saurav Ganguly bowled. You had
Always.
Sachin Tendulkar, obviously. Yeah. And
Phew.
what it gives you is
Sehwag.
one over, yeah, Sehwag. So 1 over, 2 overs, Udar say all these three guys contribute about 6 to 8 overs. It reduces the pressure on your mainline bowlers and allows you to you can't get into the last phase of the inning saying, okay, if say a particular bowler has 3 overs and if he gets taken to the cleaners, I don't have an option. I have to bowl him anyway. Those are the kind of things that you want to try and do somewhere in the middle, squeeze in about 8 overs so that you have that 8 over, cushion towards the end. Yeah, it's just one of those things, and it's not new, right? I mean, they haven't bowled in. I don't remember the last time either of them bowled. Come to think of it.
Yeah, even I don't. And I wonder always when one of the fast bowlers or one of the spinners having a bad day, we get to give Kohli a go. Maybe it might just help his confidence also.
Yeah, and I mean, Kohli is typically
Anyway,
poised to do what Saurav Ganguly used to do.
which is
No, just come in and his bowling looks like. I remember once in commentary actually saying this is the kind of bowling that we used to laugh at in league cricket in Chennai. But the guy will go and take 4 wickets, 5 wickets. Yeah, he,
exactly.
he, he just, I never figured out. I mean, he's Mohinder Ramanathan Mark II with a bit more attitude. Just comes hobbling in and poop. Anyway, so
Interesting people we've
looking,
spoken about Ranatunga, Ganguly. So
yeah,
you remember when Ramesh was here, he gave us a really funny story. You think we should end on that note
yeah,
about
that's
another
Ramesh.
legend?
Yeah, Ramesh is a brilliant storyteller. In fact, one of these days, instead of calling him and asking him about Champions Trophy and all that, we should say, Bhai Sahab, you have 1 hour, just tell stories. And if we can get Ramesh and Wasim Akram on the same show, it's like
Oh, let me fire.
both outstanding, yeah, both outstanding storytellers and great fun to talk to. We'll do that one of these days. But
Cool.
let's leave
Anyways,
with the usual. thing of, guys, if you like this, please subscribe, please hit the bell icon. You can see it right below, and we'll leave you with one of Ramiz's classic stories. Thank you, and see you next week.
We were playing in 1988 against the mighty West Indies, and Javed Miadad had this habit of being 10 in 1. So he was the captain. He felt he was the captain. He was the 12th man. He was the wicket keeper. He was a leg spinner and a fast bowler, a great batsman that he was. But you know, telling tailenders how to become a Javed Miadad. So I remember, this was at Trinidad, and Salim Yusuf was keeping, and he was in the first slip. I was probably at short leg, and for 3 or 4 overs, he's asking Salim Yusuf, because it was a slow pitch, that the ball will not carry to you. So you please move forward, forward, forward. After every ball, there would be this cry from Javed Miadad from first slip that आगे हो जा मैं तो कह रहा हूँ गेंद नहीं पहुंचेगा आगे हो जा आगे हो जा आगे हो जा and the poor guy saying जावेद भाई मैं ठीक हूँ जहाँ पे हूँ मैं ठीक हूँ so टी से पहले so he moves forward क्योंकि इतना ज्यादा he was being pestered तो वो edge लगी वो तेज ऐसे आया क्योंकि वो I think third या fourth जब टेस्ट मैच था and he grasped the catch and there was this fight on the field. I can never forget that. And that carried on for good 4 overs. And then there was this, we had this tea interval, and for 20 minutes they kept on fighting, and then Imran had to come between them. He says, no, please give me the ticket. I want to go back home. Both of them saying. So it became quite a scenario. I still remember that. I've never seen anything like that on a cricket field where actually, I mean, they didn't punch each other, but other than that, it was full on.